it's Ashley, and today I'm going to be doing the Gilmore Girls book tag. Woohoo! And look, I'm wearing a themed shirt. What? So I wasn't actually tagged by anybody to do this tag, but I saw one of my favorite booktubers, the YA bookworm blogger, do this, and I'm just like, oh my god, this tag exists. It's my two favorite things in the whole world put together, Gilmore Girls and books. I literally love nothing in the world besides my husband as much as I love these two things, and the fact that they're together means I have to do this book tag. So I will leave a link to the creator of this book tag down below, and basically this just has a bunch of Gilmore Girls characters and a character trait associated with the character themselves, and you pick a book that goes with a character trait, and I'm really excited, so I'm just gonna do it. Just gonna do it right now. Here we go. Number 1 is Lorelai, a character with a sarcastic or witty sense of humor. This is probably the easiest one for me to answer. It's Charlie Davidson from the Charlie Davidson series by Dorinda Jones, and I think this is like the 6th video of mine where I mentioned Charlie Davidson, and in every one of those videos I mention that she's a sarcastic and witty individual, and I wish I had her comebacks because she's like so sharp and fast, and that's like her biggest personality trait. It actually, like, in my mind when I think of Charlie, I think of Lauren Graham, who plays Lorelai, so it's like the perfect question for me to put Charlie Davidson as an answer. Number 2 is Rory, and it's a favorite classic, and for me this is To Kill a Mockingbird. I've reread this book many times. I have a tattoo for it, and I just adore it. I think it's one for the ages. Number 3 is Luke, a book you secretly love but are afraid to admit, and this was kind of hard for me to come up with one because I freely admit my love for all books, and then I thought, well, I don't really admit my love for Twilight except to the internet. Like, if you talk to anybody who knows me in real life, they have no idea that I like Twilight, but I do. So that's my answer for this, is Twilight, because for some reason, like, I'm ashamed to tell people that I've read Twilight like 7 times. It holds a special place in my heart because I read it so many times when I was like 18. So, yeah. Number 4 is Lane, a musical character. For this one I picked Mia Hall from If I Stay because her whole life basically revolves around 3 things: her family, Adam, and her cello. And she is a wonderful cellist and is so amazing. She ends up, you know, being in Juilliard and stuff. She's the most musical character I think I've read ever. Number 5 is Dean, your first book love, and I wasn't sure whether this meant the first book that you loved or your first, like, fictional character love. Either way, the answer to this is Anne of Green Gables related, because the first book I ever loved was Anne of Green Gables, and also the first fictional character that I ever loved was Gilbert Blythe from Anne of Green Gables. Anne of Green Gables is like the one that got me into reading. My grandma and my mom really liked it, so it also is a reason I love it. And Gilbert Blythe, I thought he was adorable. And then I saw the little, like, mini-series, and the actor who played Gilbert Blythe when I was like 6, I had a huge crush on him, so it fits for both versions of this question. Number 6 is Suki, a book that you devoured. I think this question is really cute because Suki is a chef, and I just think that this was like the cutest, most inventive, like, question of all of these. A book that I devoured was Mark of Athena, which is the 3rd book of the Heroes of Olympus series by Rick Riordan. This one in particular, like, I pre-ordered it and it came at like 7 o'clock at night. So I started it technically like before the day it was released, and I had finished it like that morning, like 6 in the morning. This one specifically I devoured because a lot of the characters finally like meet, and I was really anticipating this, and it's something that had been built up for so long, and so I devoured it. And then the cliffhanger comes, and you're just like, you can't. It just builds and builds, and then it builds to this cliffhanger, and yeah, I absolutely devoured this book in like a matter of hours. And it's so stupid that I did that because I waited a year for it and then ended up reading it in like 6 hours. So it's like, why did you wait 365 days for a book you read in 6 hours? I don't know. Couldn't wait. Had to devour it. Number 7 is Jess, and that's a book that you love that gets a lot of hate. And this is all of Lauren Oliver's books. Like, I was gonna just say Panic by Lauren Oliver, but a lot of people don't like the Delirium trilogy. From what I understand, a lot of people like the first one, Delirium, but nobody really likes the 2nd or 3rd books in the trilogy. I really liked all of them. I liked the idea of the story. I liked the 2nd love interest we get, and I know it's a YA love triangle and everybody's tired of those, but this was a couple years ago before these were so prominent, and so I didn't have a problem with it, and I loved it. I loved Panic also, which apparently a lot of people had issues with the story in that one and found it boring. Not me. I liked it. Number 8 is Miss Patty, and this is a book that was ruined by the hype, and for me this is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. Not to say I didn't like this book, but so many people were like, wow, this book is great, the mystery, the craziness, the twists, the turns, and oh my god, this female character is such a bitch, and oh my god, like, how crazy is that? And then it got turned into this movie that everybody kept talking about. So I read it, I don't know, I think a combination of one, just being tired of hearing about it, and two, very high expectations, and just, whatever. It's a fine book, not a bad book, but not worth all the attention it got. If it had got less attention, I might have even liked it more. Number 9 is Emily Gilmore, and that's an expensive book. I do have a leather-bound copy of the Argonautica. So it actually on one side is the myth of Jason and the Argonauts written in ancient Greek, and the other side is a rendition of it done by Pablo Picasso. And again, it's leather-bound. It was really expensive. I got it at Powell's, and I love it. Have no regrets at all. It's like one of my favorite things in my entire library. And number 10 is Paris, an uptight character, and I'm just gonna go with the theme of Anne of Green Gables that I've been feeling lately, and I'm gonna pick Marilla Cuthbert, who is Anne Shirley's adopted mother, but she calls her Aunt Marilla, and she's very uptight to the point where she didn't even want poor little Anne in the beginning. But she kept her and made her do a bunch of chores and always accused her of lying and didn't want her to wear the fancy dress and didn't want her to have any friends, and she was just very strict and very uptight. But little Anne wormed her way into her heart because she's so charming. Yep, when I think of an uptight character, right now I think of Marilla Cuthbert. And that's it. That was the Gilmore Girls book tag, and I'm really happy that I did this, and I kind of want to dedicate this tag to my mom because we are both hardcore Gilmore Girls fans. We have Gilmore Girls tattoos together, and so this one is for you, Mama. And I'm not going to tag anybody. If you're a Gilmore Girls fan and you feel like doing this tag on Tumblr or WordPress or here on YouTube, do it. You're officially tagged. So thanks for watching. Happy reading.